I'm Rachel. Welcome to my channel. This video is going to be from several different days. So I'm starting my intro now, now that I'm on the last day. And I'm going to be talking interspersedly, whatever. Is that a real word? So I'm just going to be putting input in here and there with all my footage that I've been taking this week because I've been making crafty things and I've been planting and doing things and just trying to get things done quickly without having to film in between them. It's just been easier just to get everything done and be able to hang out with my family and do things with them while I work on my projects and stuff. Now just film a little bit here to kind of explain things. First, I worked on my macrame, doing some macrame hangers. I made one for myself and one for my cousin. I still need to make one for my mom. Sorry, Mom. I'm working on it. And I planted a bunch of things. I didn't do that on camera just because I was already elbow deep in soil basically and I just couldn't stop for the camera. So that happened. And so now at the point that I'm working on now, I've been putting hooks in the ceiling and working on all of that. So, but then also in between all of that, we went to the desert and we had a lot of fun, and my dad got some shots of the moon rising for you, so I'll have that in here too. So first let's start off with the macrame. So I did a white macrame and a black macrame. The white one I did 5 lengths of rope, and then I just did my own design using square knots and cross hitches or whatever. Clover hitch knots, I don't know, whatever they are. I just basically used only 2 knots for the whole thing, and I just kind of had fun with it and did my own little thing. And I did square knots all the way down. While I wait for those to dry, I've got some parsley I need to go plant. What are you doing? Are you helping me? You're such a good boy. And then for the black one, I did diamonds with beads in the middle of them, and then I just did a set of square knots, and then with a bead and a length, and then another set of square knots. Here's the finished product of the white one. You can see it's kind of almost like a cobra head or something with the clover knot, cross clover hitches, something. And then you can see I use like square knots in between to attach them. It's like if I was doing a diamond pattern, but just the bottom part of the diamond, and I kept attaching them. And then here I took 3 strands that I did square knots with, so that way it was nice and thick and hefty. And then I separated those 3 again and did square knots, and then a length, and then square knots. This one doesn't have any beading on it just because I didn't feel like it. I'll get maybe a better shot of it. I don't know, maybe, if I feel like it, if I remember. And I like to use the metal ones just because they're thinner and I feel like they'll go on my hooks easier. Okay, and so this is the black one. I ended up only with silver ones. I should have used my gold one for this one, clearly, because I have these bronzy, and I did them a little, I don't know if you can tell how I kind of did them a little messy and kind of weird, because I wanted them to almost have like a planetary feel to them, because I'm making this for my cousin and she likes space stuff. I mean, who doesn't? It's awesome. But so I did diamonds, and then I did square knots in between the diamonds. I did a sets of 3, and then another diamond, a set of 3 and diamond. Down here I didn't do a set, but then down here I did, and then I did another set in between each bead. And so I did it to where the middle one is up higher, and then I did these two, and then I did another middle one down lower for these, just because it made it more even, like evenly spaced out, I feel like. And I just like how it made the beads look on here. And then I made this one ridiculously long, but I did just square knots. I did very loosely. I pulled on them the whole time to make sure that they stayed nice and loose, because I just really like that look. It almost looks more like a chain. And then, so you can see at the bottom, it's a little funky looking because I only had 5 strands, and so at the end it's only 10 strands, and some spots there's 4 and some spots there's 3 for my square knots. And then I need to get the bead for the bottom of this. There'll be another bead here once I get around to it, but I'm not keeping this one. I'm giving this one to my cousin. So
okay, ready?
I took a little break from making my craft things and gave my hands a little bit of a break too, which was nice. So now we're out in the desert just cooking some hot dogs and waiting for the full moon to rise. So the sunset though is beautiful.
Phoebe! Good.
We're sitting here waiting for the moon to come up. Hopefully all is well, the apocalypse is not happening, and the moon does rise.
Hey Joe,
What?
Grandpa can't see it where you're standing. You've been drinking muddy water. I can't see through you. It's gonna be so slow getting there. And then all of a sudden it's like, boom. No, that's pop.
So we went to the desert, and that was so much fun, of course. My cousin told me that the moon for April's name is Phlox. So I thought that was kind of interesting, especially because, you know, creeping phlox is just something that you plant. And I just planted some just before, and the kind I planted was Amazing Grace. I have a picture of it on my Instagram, so you can check the link below if you want to see that. It's just so beautiful. It has a little bit of pink on the insides of the flowers, and they're white, and they're just beautiful. Now I am working on hanging things up. I'm just hanging up the silver pothos on the other side of my window in my kitchen. I really wanted a plant here because I just felt like it filled up the space more, and I just kind of want to create more of a sanctuary for plants, you know, like a plant sanctuary right here. And I think that this will drape nicely and fill in there very well. I like using curtains in my window that are sheer, so that way I can block out light if it's too harsh and let light in if I need it. Hi honey, you wanna be in my video? Come here. You're not in my video, you gotta come a little closer so you can see yourself. Like Okay, so in the living room I have no hanging plants anywhere, and that's kind of a shame because it's a south facing window and it gets very good filtered light in the whole room, so I want to add more plants in here. So first I'm going to be putting my lipstick plant up in the window where the curtain is, so that way it will get some direct morning light most likely, and then when the light is harsher during the middle of the day, it won't, and in the evening it's not going to be getting that bright of intense light because it's behind the curtain. I might have to move it and put something else there, but for right now I think that this will work. We'll have to see. The other place I was thinking I need to have some, it's not focusing because my finger's in the way, I need to have some over here in this corner, and then I could do more this gets pretty good light all through here because I don't like this, and it's costs a lot of money to change it, and it's also going to devalue our house if we get rid of it. So it's kind of one of those things that, I don't know, I'm just dealing with and covering it in plants. I have pothos coming over a ways, but I think I'd like to add something here and then over here and then another one over here. But I don't have enough hooks today, nor do I really have enough plants with hangers at the moment, so I'm just going to leave that alone for now. I think I'm going to go ahead and put one in my craft room, but just so you know, I'm thinking about putting more up here. Really quick, I wanted to show you, I use these plant spikes, and oh, I also need to figure out where I want to put this picture. I really like it, and I think I want to incorporate somewhere in here. I don't know though. I like how pretty it is. With this, so with a pot like this size, I usually will use like 3, and I go like there. These are slow release fertilizers plant spikes, and like my mom usually does them in the spring and in the fall. I do them whenever I remember and think they might need it. Her plants always seem happier than mine, so a little one like this is just in like a size like this big. I'm just going to actually, I like to break them in half or whatever they end up being in, and I put them on either side. So I'll just use like 1 for this plant. This plant, I'm only going to use 1. I could probably get away with using 2 in this one because it is supposed to flower, but I don't know. I'm gonna put one in this peace lily because it is my mom's plant and that's what she would do. I need to give it back to her. I keep forgetting to ask her when she wants it. For plants like my rubber tree and like these Christmas cactuses and stuff, I will do 4. You can even do like more than that, but I don't like to do too many for my Christmas cactuses because I do give them cactus fertilizer too during the summer, and then I won't put spikes in these in the fall. I mean, I could just because I slow release, but I just don't, and because you're not supposed to fertilize them before they flower. And then I also give them to my sansevieria. I don't know, I kind of just give them to all my plants if I feel like it, except for my like succulents. I don't necessarily. I haven't tried it for all of them, but they just kind of seem to work. I have a pothos already, and I'm going to put another plant right there, I think. Oh, I just realized I wasn't recording. I remembered that it was my jasmine plant that I wanted to put up there and get it off of right here. So I gave it a little bit of a haircut for the summer, so that way it won't get too big and crazy. And yeah, you missed it because I forgot to hit the recording button. I'm sorry. Oh well. It was just me giving my poor plant a terrible haircut. I decided that I don't like the macrame hanger that I made already, and it was one of my earlier ones that I've never used. It's just a little big and bulky, and I want something a little bit more streamlined and not so crazy for in my kitchen. And so I'm just gonna make one that doesn't really have any knots to it, like at all, just some square knots to connect all the cording, and that's it. Alright, well that was way more difficult than it needed to be. I just like kept messing up with the number of ropes I had. I meant to do it where I had 3 sets of 3 basically kind of thing, and then I had 2 extra ropes left over. So I took out one to make it to where it was all work right. And then I still had a rope left over. So I took out another one. I was like, what is happening? And then I didn't have enough, so I had to add one. Like, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Like, I've never related to Mugatu so much. And with this project that's supposed to be really easy because I didn't do any knotting other than just the square knots. But that's actually the hardest part for me usually, is doing the square knots and getting them all even at the bottom to hold the plant. So yeah, but it still only took me 20 minutes to do that, so it should have only taken me like 5, but instead it took me 20, so oh well. Alright, so the only thing that I have left to do is just to plant my string of bananas that I just gave my mom's string of bananas a haircut, so I gotta just put them all in some soil. And then I will be done and I can make some quiche and I can edit this video. Okay. I find personally that for me, Silencios, like string of pearls, string of bananas, they like to have soil that's not quite so dry. They like to be able, like I have to water my string of pearls even though it's in mostly houseplant mix. I still have to water it every week. So I like to use a mixture of cactus and houseplant mix. So like if you're mixing this up yourself, just go a little bit lighter on the perlite. And I'm going to be taking off a bunch of bananas, so I will have to let this harden off again. Now I just need to figure out where I want to put this plant, because no, Jacob. I guess I'll put it right there for now until I figure it out. That's a little bit more sun than I would like for it, but it's only going to be getting direct sun in like late afternoon, so you know, it shouldn't be too much. And it might really like it there. So my mom's plant has been in a north facing window, so I mean, I don't know, I'm a little worried, but not too worried. We'll see. The other place I would put it would be like right here. This is a fairly protected area, just that way it's not getting too much bright light. It'll get direct morning light for a little bit, but that's it. These string of pearls do pretty good right there, at least. Thank you for joining me for this crazy video that's been like a week in the making and lots of different projects. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you liked my little add-in of being out in the desert, then please let me know in the comments. I will have a houseplant tour up for you either Saturday or Wednesday. I'm hoping I'll get it done by Saturday, but I have a lot of things to finish up this week. And so yeah, also I need to do a spring garden tour. I haven't given you any kind of a garden update since my hoop house, and which has been amazing. We've been eating lettuce for weeks and radishes, and the carrots and the beets are growing and doing great, and so are the peas, and we got some Swiss chard, and there's just lettuce all over my yard because you know that one seed packet that just kind of flew everywhere? So yeah, there's lettuce everywhere and it's amazing. If you haven't given macrame a try but you want to, I will have some links in the description below that are some of my favorite macrame videos and tutorials I find very easy and helpful. I'm also going to put one in there that's for like a triangle type but using square knots, and it's just really cool, and it's one that I really enjoy making. So I'll put that down there too. So I hope you guys have a really great week, and I will talk to you later. Bye!
Thank you. I appreciate your assistance.